Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you've ever checked your bank account and just felt that sudden knot in your stomach, or maybe you've wondered why some people seem to effortlessly build wealth while others are stuck grinding paycheck to paycheck for decades, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're breaking down the exact differences between a rich mindset and a poor mindset. Now, to be clear, this isn't some get-rich-quick gimmick. It's a serious look at the foundational differences that literally dictate your financial future.
Okay, so let's dive into this fundamental question. It's the one that frustrates so many of us throughout our entire lives, right? It's the elephant in the room of our modern economy. Millions of people wake up early, they work incredibly hard, and yet they just never seem to get ahead. Why is that? What actually separates the struggling majority from the people who achieve lasting financial freedom?
Well, we need to shatter a few common myths right out of the gate. Building wealth, it's not about luck. It's definitely not about having the right connections or being born into a wealthy family. And honestly, it isn't even about raw intelligence. Think about it. If it were just about being smart, every straight-A student would be a millionaire. The real difference is entirely rooted in how they think about money.
Think of your brain like a computer. Your mindset is literally the operating system of your financial life. It controls every single decision you make, from that impulse purchase at the store to your long-term investments. But here's the harsh reality. Most people are running a totally outdated version of this software, and it's a version that fundamentally causes immense financial stress and blocks you from accumulating wealth. All right, let's move into our first section, money, problems, and time. We're going to look at the foundational differences in how these mindsets operate daily. Now, take a look at the stark contrast in how these two minds operate. When someone with a poor mindset gets paid, their immediate default thought is usually, okay, what can I buy with this? Money is purely seen as something to spend. But a rich mindset, they see money as a really powerful tool. They deploy it to buy back their time, create personal freedom, and strategically generate even more money.
It really just boils down to a lifestyle of consuming versus aggressively putting your capital to work. One mindset just drains resources. The other treats every single dollar like a little employee whose sole job is to go out and recruit more dollars. It's a completely different way of looking at the cash flowing through your hands.
And this divide is just as obvious when you hit financial hurdles. The poor mindset looks at a price tag, or maybe a new business opportunity, says, I can't afford it, and just stops. The brain shuts off, it accepts the dead end. But the rich mindset, they ask, how can I afford it? By framing it as a question, they actually train their brain to hunt for solutions instead of just avoiding the problem altogether. Adopting this single powerful question opens up an entire world of solutions, rather than just shutting down your potential. Asking, how can I afford it, forces you to think creatively. It pushes you to consider side incomes, maybe some budgeting shifts or new investments. Rich people don't avoid problems, they actively condition themselves to solve them. Now, when it comes to time, these two realities clash completely. The poor mindset accepts the daily grind, trading hours for cash, as just the way the world works. But the rich mindset, they absolutely obsess over the power of leverage. They're constantly looking for ways to decouple their income from their time, focusing almost entirely on how to make their money work for them while they're sleeping. Ultimately, you are either selling your limited, finite hours to an employer, or you are building systems that work for you around the clock. You see, wealth isn't built by working 24 hours a day. It's built by creating systems that do the heavy lifting for you, which infinitely scales your earning potential. Let's transition into Section 2, Risk, Mentors, and Patience. These are the long-term strategic differences. Consider your relationship with risk. The poor mindset avoids risk at absolutely all costs, mainly because the idea of losing feels completely catastrophic. They get paralyzed by fear. Conversely, the rich mindset understands that risk isn't something to hide from, it's something to manage. They know that taking calculated risks is simply the mandatory price of entry for any real opportunity. Because here's the thing, calculated risk is mandatory. In fact, playing it completely safe your entire life is actually the riskiest thing you can do. In an economy that's constantly shifting and dealing with inflation, refusing to take risks guarantees that you're going to slowly fall behind. Playing it safe is basically a mathematical guarantee of mediocrity. And this absolutely extends to where people get their advice. A poor mindset often takes financial advice from friends or family who are, frankly, also broke. But a rich mindset actively seeks out and studies the people who have already built exactly what they want. Your circle and your inputs define your financial ceiling, which is exactly why finding and studying successful mentors is so absolutely paramount.
Then there's the barrier of delayed gratification. The poor mindset demands results right now. They want the newest phone and they'll buy it on high-interest credit just to get that instant dopamine hit. The rich mindset, however, is completely willing to sacrifice today for a much better tomorrow. They'll take that exact same money, bypass the flashy purchase, and invest it into an asset that compounds and grows over time.
Moving on to Section 3, reframing how you fail. This is arguably the ultimate barrier to entry for building wealth.
Notice the psychological pivot here. To a poor mindset, a failed venture or a bad investment is hard proof that they just aren't meant to be rich, and they should probably just stop trying. But a rich mindset literally weaponizes failure. They view it as highly valuable data. It's simply objective feedback on what didn't work, which allows them to adjust their strategy and move forward a whole lot smarter.
Think about this. Every single successful person you admire has failed more times than you have even tried. High volumes of failure are actually a prerequisite for success. It's not an indicator of permanent defeat. You have to be willing to get it wrong in order to eventually get it incredibly right.
Okay, finally, let's hit Section 4, upgrading your financial mindset. Let's turn all this theory into actionable financial shifts.
Here's the uncomfortable truth we all have to face head-on. Your bank account is a direct reflection of your mindset. It's not your salary holding you back. It's not your external circumstances. You have to take direct responsibility for the fact that your own internal operating system is producing your current financial reality.
But hey, the really good news here is that you are not permanently stuck. This operating system can be updated. Your financial mindset isn't some fixed genetic trait. It is a highly learnable skill. And just like learning a new language or mastering an instrument, with deliberate practice, you can absolutely change it. So here are 3 practical, rapid-fire shifts you can start making right now. First, completely eliminate the phrase "I can't afford it" from your vocabulary and start asking how. Second, stop spending every dollar you earn and start paying yourself first. Invest a portion of your income immediately. And third, stop avoiding financial education. Treat it like the single most important subject you never learned in school. Read the books, study the markets, and do the real work.
Which brings us to our final thought. The gap between the rich and the poor is fundamentally not a gap in income, it is a profound gap in thinking. So the crucial question I want to leave you with today is this. Knowing that a change in thinking changes absolutely everything, what is the very first mindset upgrade you're going to make right now?